And Bill Schuette is up early with us before the sun this morning, as people like him are. They're early birds. They catch the worm, and all the farmers, of course, across the state of Michigan know him very well. You know him, too, now as candidate for Attorney General. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Michael Patrick, ambassador to the world. It's good to be with you today.
Yeah, you know what? When I'm looking at your CV here, if you will, your resume, when you talk
hmm
about being ambassador to the world, let's just look at this education lineup here. Midland native, Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. there, University of Aberdeen in Scotland, University of San Francisco, and then, of course, your honorary Doctor of Law from Northwood University. You definitely got around before you went into public service.
Well, I did. Thank you. Yeah, I had a great educational background. Worked hard. I attribute that to my mom and dad who helped instill in me and my two sisters the value of hard work and making sure you apply yourself. So my wife and I try to do that with our kids, and we have two good children. And I appreciate the fact you mentioned about my wife in Michigan Harvest Gathering. This was really her idea to help feed hungry people across Michigan and work with a food bank. So I'm delighted to be with you.
Well, I want everybody to know too that when you go to places like Aberdeen and Georgetown and San Francisco, and you still come back to Michigan after all of that, you gotta love the state.
Well, being born and raised in Michigan, and that's really one of the motivating forces for me to serve, is that we need to have a new Michigan that has that's safer, has less taxes, less government, and where people stay, and where our kids graduate, that they're going to come back to Michigan. Because right now, Michigan is one of Michigan's biggest exports is our young people, and because there are not enough paychecks and there are not enough jobs, and I think that's really what we need to do in terms of a turnaround plan for Michigan.
And you've been talking to me and J.P. McCarthy before me about the Michigan Harvest Gathering for a long, long time. It's not an election year thing for you. This is something that's very near and dear to you and your wife.
Well, this is helping the food banks and volunteering and contributing. It doesn't know anything about politics or what your partisanship might be. It's all about helping people. And my wife and I, 20 years ago, when Michigan was going through a similar time, my wife said, let's do something to help people, because we had high unemployment back then, people out of work, and so since that time we've raised, through the help of so many people, $7 million for the food banks, and nearly over 8 million pounds of food. And the Hospital Association helps every year. We've got some great supporters like AT&T and Walmart and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. The groups across the state have really ponied up and said, okay, let's help every year. And so we raise, $300,000, $400,000, and it really helps the food banks and the gleaners and your pantries. It makes a big difference in people's lives.
How can people get more involved?
Well, thank you. And this is easy. You could run a food drive at your school, at your place of work. Bring a can, or maybe you write $10. If you're a state employee in the Lansing area, we have a very active state employee food drives going on. Maybe it's at your place of worship, at your church or your synagogue, what have you, and say, okay, let's have this Sunday, this Sunday, this Saturday, whatever it might be for you, bring in your can of food for your local food pantry. And the Food Bank Council of Michigan does a terrific job distributing food across the state of Michigan. It goes from the Upper Peninsula into the Indiana border. And a lot of really committed folks lend a hand. And you can make a difference, since you give people a little bit of hope. Maybe they're going through a tough time. They're between jobs, or they're looking for work. All these little things kind of add up when you help your neighbor.
All right. I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you about politically speaking, but we've only got 50 seconds left. So can we rejoin you tomorrow morning and sort of separate these two issues?
Yeah, it's probably better, because there's this food banking and the Michigan Harvest Gathering. It's all about people, because if you're hungry, it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter what your race or creed might be. It's
Yeah.
about, hey, you need something on the table. So, yeah, we can talk politics tomorrow. That'd be great.
I think that's a great way to go about it. And thank you very much for the years of service. The Michigan Harvest Gathering, and you can sort it all out. That gathering has raised more than $6.1 million and 7.8 million pounds of food for Michigan families over that 18 to almost 20-year period now for Bill Schuette. And congratulations and happy Harvest Moon to you, the former Ag Director, Bill Schuette, now running for Attorney General.